YouTube, what's going on? My name is Argon. Welcome back to some Fortnite action. Today I got a new video for you guys. It's a follow-up to the video we did, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, where we compared the double pump strategy against just a regular tac shotgun. Now, as you guys know, since the new patch came out 3.0, they actually went ahead and fixed the double pump issue that was going on. So for those of you that don't know, what was going on with the double pumps before was if you ran two pump shotguns side by side, basically you shoot one, switch to the next one, shoot that one, switch back to the other one, and it was already cocked and ready to load, or I'm sorry, ready to shoot, and you could just switch back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You were cutting down your shot time, your time between shots significantly. In the first video I did, I went through an extensive test on how much time exactly you were saving. What it came down to was if you're actually running the double pump strat, you can shoot between 1 second between shots versus a second and a half to 2 seconds, or with the tac shotgun it was 2/3 of a second between rounds. So you were saving a lot of time using the double pump strategy, guys. But we jump right straight into the numbers right away. But let's give a little bit more background here as we move forward, guys. Again, like I said, it's a double pump strategy that was out by a guy named Daquan. If you guys don't know who he is, he was he's like I guess you call him a pro Fortnite guy. He became really popular during the first invitational. He's a Twitch streamer. He was seen in the first invitational using this double pump strat, and all the other people basically were like, holy cow, I've never seen this before, and they saw how powerful it was. He's, I think, really one of the best at it. So if you see what he does with it, he's really good with it, to the point where it became widespread throughout the community. Once they added Tilted Towers, literally became Tilted Towers double pump shotgun extravaganza. That's really all it was, guys. So it became something where they needed to get rid of it. They managed to get rid of it. However, people are concerned now that there is what they're calling double pump 2.0. Daquan recently released a video. He's not the only one. A lot of people have been searching for it. So once that main strategy, and I'll be honest, the time it took from when he first kind of uncovered this strategy to when they nerfed it, a lot of people migrated to Fortnite, guys, especially with the implementation of Tilted Towers. I would say at any given moment, half the map was double pumping, and that is a major shock to the way people play the game. So when they nerfed it, a lot of people have been struggling trying to find a backup solution for this. I have some of my own. I'm going to go ahead and release some of these videos later on, some more strategies and loadouts that you could try to replace this that are more reliable than a double shotgun strategy. But that's not what you're here to see, guys. You're here to see some actual testing, some backup data. We want to know, is this actually possible? So as we move forward, I'm going to tell you guys what the double pump shotgun strategy 2.0 really is. And what they've uncovered is basically this. If you imagine playing or shooting the shotgun, right? What you want to do is hit your first shot, and then you switch to the next shotgun. You wait for the sound of the first shot to completely go away. Then you fire your second, and then you can switch right back to your first, and you can just hit it right away. Then you got to wait and then switch and go back and forth. It's a rhythm thing. I'm going to let Daquan explain it because he explains it really well. You can actually see him doing it. Makes it even more sense, I think. So take a look at Daquan trying it out and showing you how it's done.
Let's go, baby. Double pump is back. Double pump is back.
So I've seen a lot of people talking about this, guys. They've been trying to show other strategies as well. And what it came down to for me, what made me really skeptical about this was, are they really actually uncovering a glitch? Are they really actually gaining an advantage? Or are they just really fooling themselves because they can shoot back-to-back shots? So what I thought it came down to was ultimately the time between shots. If you can get it down to the amount of time it took with the original double pump strategy, then you've actually uncovered a solution that matches the original. Because a lot of people have been saying, oh, double pump isn't gone, it's just different, blah, 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 blah. So taking a look at Daquan's double pump 2.0 strategy, I decided to test it. So what I've done here, guys, is I slow it down and I want to measure the time between shots that he takes. And it's very inconsistent with this new strategy. Now, going back to the original test, like I mentioned, when you take a regular pump shotgun, what we have to take into consideration is the reload animation that occurs. And this is really ultimately what was broken with the double pump strat to begin with. The reload animation was completely being skipped. So when you reload the pump shotgun, so you have your pump, it's got 5 rounds in it when it's fully loaded. It's already got a shell already in the chamber. You hit that shot, First, the existing shell needs to get ejected, and then another shell needs to get pumped into place. So for my calculations, what it comes down to is the time it takes to eject a shell is about a half a second, and the amount of time it takes to reload a new shell into the barrel is another second and a half. I found this when I did my original testing with the single pump shot. It took about a second and a half to go from shot 1 to shot 2, and then from shot 2 to shot 3, and shot 3 to shot 4. So subsequent shots was 2 seconds. So that accounts for, you know, a half a second it takes to eject the existing shell, and then another second and a half to load the next shell up, right? So when you have an original double pump, your entire reload animation was completely skipped, right? So what I think is going on now with the double pump 2.0 is you're sort of messing with it. I don't really know how to describe what's going on, but what I've done was I measured him here in a sequence of 8 shots, right? So what I've timed it out is how much time it takes between his first and second, second and third, third and fourth, and so on, and it becomes really inconsistent. So with the double pump original strategy, it was literally almost a second from what I hand tested between shots, consistent. Every time you shot, it was a second back and forth. Compare that with the tac shotgun, which is, if many of you don't know, is actually you could hold down the trigger, it'll fire as a semi-auto. However, you don't have to tap fire, it'll just continuously fire, auto fire. So with the tac shotgun, when you're running it in auto fire mode, it basically takes about 0.67 seconds or 2/3 of a second between shots. Compare that with the OG double pump strategy, which was a full second. It's slower, yes, but a lot more powerful, and definitely not as intended to be used. So, but those are both very consistent, right? And also, even when you run a single pump, they're always very consistent. The new strategy is very inconsistent. So the timing I'm finding, guys, the time between his first and his well, I should say his first and second shot is just over 2 seconds. Then between the second and third shot, because he's instantly switching, it's a half a second or less. Just depends how fast he can switch. Then going from the third to the fourth shot, where he's basically got to switch back to the originally unloaded or reloaded, you kind of lose track. It becomes a bit of a shell game, I'll be honest with you. You get a second and a half, and then switching back instantly to the next one is like 0.83 seconds. Back again is another second and a half almost, then another half second to switch, and then just over a second and a third. You can see, guys, it's very inconsistent. I can show the results on the screen here. It's extremely inconsistent. The average is not very consistent at all. That's the biggest thing I can see with this. And the biggest thing too is it's a rhythm thing, where if you're not hitting your shots and you're not waiting for the sound to finish or whatever it ends up being, you'll have to go through the full reload animation. What it appears to be happening, guys, is basically if you do it this way, you're skipping the act of ejecting the shell. So I think what's really happening is you're switching to the next shotgun over, and the shotgun that you put away apparently or whatever is still ejecting that shell in the background. You just have to wait for it to load the next shell. It's weird. It's obviously not that intentional. I think it's still broken. I think if you shoot your gun, you put it away, you haven't ejected the shell, when you switch back to it, you still got to eject the shell. They definitely need to be done the exact same way the snipers are. They definitely need to be done the exact same way the RPGs are. It still needs a little bit of tweaking. Keep in mind, guys, Daquan's probably one of the best, if not the best, at doing this. And if you watch, I mean, I can't even tell you how much I had to slow this footage down just to track the time. Like, that's how fast he is. In fact, in many cases, what I did in order to measure this, my little secret, is I look at the ammo count on the left side where it says how many rounds he's got in his clip, for example. As soon as that number changes, that's when I count the shot as being fired. In Daquan's case, he's moving so quickly, he's already, if you look at his inventory, switched to the next gun while the shot is currently being fired. That's what he's doing. It's so fast. The way he can do it so fast is, I don't know, it's insane. So he's moving faster than the game. I don't know what you want to say. Either way, my results show the way that this pump strategy, or whatever you want to call it, works. It's almost more like the original single pump than it is the OG double pump. It takes longer. The amount of time it takes you to shoot 7 rounds is 8.25 seconds or so. And if you were to count that with another shotgun you could have, I mean, if you're running 2 double pumps or whatever you were doing, it would still be almost the same amount of time. So it's not as good as it sounds. It's very inconsistent, like I said. And again, if you're not getting the timing right, you're not going to take advantage of this mechanic. And more importantly, how you got to make sure you can line up the shot right while getting this timing right. It's just really hard to pull off. The original double pump was really hard to pull off. This is even harder, and it's not even that advantageous. I recommend going a different route. If you're not an amazing player, an all-star, superstar, or you're just messing around or whatever you want to see if you can do it and hit the clips, It's up to you. It'll freak your opponents out probably. They'll be like, oh my God, double pump, what's going on? But it's really not going to help you all that much, guys. Like I said, numbers are what they are. This looks more like the original pump than it does the actual double pump. So I wouldn't really think it's a replacement for a double pump. It certainly is not a replacement for a double pump. In fact, you can still get much more shots downrange using a tac shotgun, and it's arguably better because you can aim it easier. It's more consistent with its shots. Yeah, the damage profile is a little bit less, but you know what? I would take the opportunity to be able to shoot whenever I wanted to rather than have to shoot on this specific schedule like you have to with this. So my impressions of this system, guys, not worth it. Try it for fun for yourself. If you like it and you have fun with it, that's all that ends up mattering. But to say that this is a replacement for the double shotgun, it's absolutely not true. The timing is not even there. The OG double pump was very consistent, and I wasn't even that good with it. The better you are with it, the even faster you could get at it, almost down to the same speed as a tac shotgun potentially. It's definitely not that powerful. I wouldn't worry about it, guys. No need to freak out about it. If you see somebody doing it, just go shoot them. They're probably an easy kill most of the time, unless you run into Daquan. So either way, guys, hopefully you did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button. If you haven't yet, please don't forget to subscribe. If you're not following me on social media, the links are down in the description below. And as always, guys, my name is Argon, and may you never die to a bush. Peace.